Testing. Testing 1 2 1 chew. Chew chew chew. And hopefully we're live. Hopefully we're live. Let's put it that way. It's important to start on time, right? And it's Friday. Isn't Friday fabulous? Which means it's Las Vegas Express Day. American Truck Simmons just talking about whatever. So let's go jump into American Truck. Where were we at? Cargo crawler tractor from Oakdale to Bakersfield. Are these nice places in the world? Let's, where's our map? Where are we going? Where are we going? Oh, there's an unlockable in Bakersfield, isn't there? Yeah. We're going through Fresno. Okay, so we're all set up. Let's jump straight into driving. Am I hitched up? I am.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go, eh? Hey mate, what you doing? Oh, there's that other tractor that's exactly the same that we left conveniently in the way. Better go out here, try and miss it. And let's get on the correct side of the road.
Get ready to turn left.
So what do we talk about today?
Turn left.
This old truck. Well, I suppose the Grand Prix is coming up. We can start there. Why not? How are we going for fuel? We're pretty good. How easy a fuel stop is this? Oh, it's a big tractor, isn't it? We may make it past that sign, you never know. We'll find out. Oh. We're struggling. There you go. Perfection itself. Some of the talking points. Well, it's hot in Europe still, so will that affect Mercedes? Depends how hot it is, isn't it? When they say hot in Europe, how hot do they mean? Do they mean, you know, Australia hot? Arizona hot? I suppose in a lot of Europe, if you have heat, you get a bit of humidity too, won't you? I'm sort of guessing they're going to be about 35 Celsius, which is, you know, an average summer day in Australia. But, you know, that makes the track temperature extra hot, doesn't it?
Get ready to turn left.
So who knows, maybe it'll shake things up a bit. Maybe.
Turn left.
We'll see. It seems to be the future of a Grand Prix in Germany looks in doubt. They don't have enough money to host the race. It's only Mercedes is sort of paying for it. I don't know, I mean, there's sort of some races where you sort of think F1 should be there. You know, it's these heartland races. I mean, I don't like Paul Ricard, but sort of think, well, if you're going to list some countries F1 should be, it should be in England, there should be one in Italy, there should be one in Germany, and there should be one in France. I'd say there should be one in Spain. Now, France could do with a bit of track. That's for sure. Germany's got 2 decent tracks that are sort of up to spec and regular features on alternate calendars. I mean, if Germany can't host a race, there's something wrong, isn't there? There's something very wrong. I mean, currently Mercedes is unbeatable, and you can't get it together to host a race in Germany. You know, how much are they charging them for the privilege to host this race? If I want to host a race at Hockenheim, I bet I have to pay Hockenheim, not the other bloody way around. To me, that's fair. I mean, if I was a rock star and I'm going to play a certain concert venue, do they pay me to turn up, or do I pay them? And then how much money I make is about what I take at the gate, and that's about how good a show I put on and how popular I am. I mean, isn't that the way that it should work? If your event doesn't fill the pockets of the people hosting it, why would you pay to host a race? I mean, you know, Germany is an F1
right,
fan heartland.
And then exit right. Exit right. Turn left.
I mean, I'm not against, you know, having a race in Vietnam or something like that. I'm not against that. Some of these street circuits, like the American racing, you know, the street circuits can make things a bit interesting, you know. We're going Fresno. This looks like a nice place. No offense to anyone who lives in Fresno, but I mean, Tate Industrial, isn't it? The Fresno Grand Prix. I mean, they should have a race in America somewhere. Australia, one race, you know. Japan. But Brazil. These places are sort of second tier, where you'd sort of say, yeah, you should have one there. But Germany's one of those ones that's first tier. You've got to have one. No German Grand Prix. I mean, that's a bit of sad thing. Especially because their tracks are, you know, okay. But yeah, I mean, it's just a strange thing, isn't it, where they get paid to turn up by the track. I sort of think, well, maybe you would have a deal where, okay, you don't really get charged to use the track, but you've got to guarantee us a certain amount of profit from the exercise. You can't afford to host races where it's costing you money, you know. And an F1 weekend would be expensive to host, you would think. There's a lot more planning and people needed than, you know, a track day. Look at this place. Nice, huh? Don't want to break down here. I mean, the Vettel story just won't go away, will it? I'm not going to cover it though. I mean, I think we've covered it. Whoa! Straight through the red light there, like a boss. Vettel, all you can say is, you know, if I was him, I'd go, but I'm not him. I still think he has it in him to win a world championship in the right car. To me, it's just a sort of question of where is he at mentally. Does he care? You know, if you don't care, there's plenty of other things he can do.
Get ready to turn right. Turn right.
If this was Bussim, I'd have to be on the horn now, right? I guess the other one is Gasly. How's Gasly going to go? Is he going to keep some momentum from the last race, or we'll see. There's a lot of stories about Bottas. But do you think he's going to leave Mercedes? I guess the thing is, he's go if he's pushed it, and the speculation seems to be, doesn't it, that Mercedes is going to bring in someone else, i.e. Ocon. Do you think they'll do that? In some respects, they might be able to justify less performance reduction for them or any closing of the gap if they have two cars who are fighting. I mean, remember the seasons when Rosberg and Hamilton was sort of neck and neck. That made it racing even though you knew Mercedes was going to win. But it was still an interesting duel. Hey, hey.
Go straight on.
I suppose they're going to presume Hamilton's going to have a couple of years left in him, maybe. I think Hamilton will keep going while he's got a competitive car, really. I think while he's winning races, he'll keep going. You may as well. If you're with Mercedes and Mercedes are all of a sudden, you know,
Get ready to turn left.
second or third best team, you go, oh well, I've got my 6 or 7 world championships to be by that stage.
Turn left.
Call it a day. But I don't
Keep
think
right.
that has
And
all
then
that
exit
much to
right.
do with Bottas's performance. You know, if Bottas comes out and wins the race this weekend,
Exit right.
I think Mercedes kind of have a plan about what they're going to do, and I'm not sure how,
Turn left.
unless he wins every race. I can't see him making much of a difference to whatever they've decided to do. Whoa. How's my cargo? Cargo's good, that's the main thing, huh? Too tight a turn for this trailer. See, I feel like it's a little bit out of his hands. He's had a decent first half of the season. You know, he'd be happy with his season if the second half of the season is as good as the first half. So that's it was a good season. Not as fast as Lewis. So, I don't know, what do you reckon? I just feel like Mercedes has sort of made a decision about what they're going to do.
Get ready to turn right.
Hopefully they've told him, you know, one way or the other.
Turn right and then turn left.
Wah! Made it.
Get ready to turn right. Turn right. Here we are, safe and sound.
Here we are. Don't know if I can even be bothered with this. Let's just give it a... There we are. Now I wanted to actually drive into Bakersfield and pick up that unlockable. There we go.
Time to get the job done.
Yep. Let me out. Can I go around there, do you reckon? Let's find out. Oh, you buggers. Okay.
Turn right.
I mean, you know what's going to happen. I'm going to end up having to come back here to pick up a job, aren't I? But it's just so much easier to drive through and pick up that unlockable now. That massive trailer on the back.
Turn left and then turn right. Turn right.
And there are a couple of people where, you know, your eyes are sort of on them, isn't it? About what next season's going to look like. It's sort of all about them. One of them is Vettel. What does Vettel do? At the moment, I guess then one of them is what happens with Bottas, but I don't know if that makes a huge difference because it seems pretty sure that Ocon would go in there. I'd love to see Danny Rick in that chair. Another one we're kind of waiting on, isn't it?
Get
Is
ready to turn left.
something happening at Haas.
Turn left.
I mean, any publicity is good publicity in some respects, isn't it? I've never heard of Rich Energy. Gee, I've heard of them now. You know, Haas has been talked about a lot. Come on, mate. I got you. The hell's this dude been doing, man? So yeah. Also too, you know, if that Haas seat becomes available, and there's all these other sort of seats in the mix, people are sort of going, oh, something better going to come up. I think everyone is sort of waiting to sort of see what happens with the seats at the top two teams, really. They're the sort of start of the dominoes.
Keep right and then exit right. Exit right. Turn left.
Well, this is easy to see, isn't it? Oh, he turned off. Hope for the best. Yeah. It's interesting, you know, we haven't even talked really about who do we think is going to win the Grand Prix, or what do we think is going to happen.
Go straight on.
Actually, I'm going to go up here. Oh, that's a good place to stop, dude, isn't it?
Okay, let's find a new route.
Don't worry, we'll be fine.
Turn right. Get ready to turn right.
Might as well fill her up. Whoa, dude, did he just come out then? That's a top move, mate. I've got to hand it to you.
Turn right.
You're a legend.
Turn left.
Oakley dokley. I mean, as always in Formula One, you know,
Keep left,
that's sort of
and then turn left.
partly irrelevant. It's sort of like the futures market Formula One, isn't it?
Turn left.
It's always about, you know, what's happening next year? What's the next move?
We are finished.
You know, what's sort of happening now is sort of only partly relevant, but a lot of people it's just about the futures market, isn't it? With the Formula One. There we go. So we're in tip-top condition. We've got fuel. Let's set ourselves a job. It's a job market. Bakersfield, California. 45 grand. Is that where we were before? It's a big run, isn't it? $57 a mile. That's back where we came from. We've got to go back and get it. Yeah. What do we do? Do we take a big job? I mean, this one gets us 45 grand, doesn't it? It's a lot of dough. We're fine, mate. How much does it weigh? It's fine.
Drive safe.
Cheers, mate. I guess the other big news story, well, another big news story, you know, because of course Formula One was the biggest news story, wasn't it? Was England.
Turn left.
A new Prime Minister, Boris Johnson.
This is where it ends.
So we will get onto that once we've hooked this trailer up. Yeah, we're taking that one. Yep. No problem. We're fine. What could go wrong? It's another one of these tractors. I'm the tractor moving king, apparently. Do-do-do.
Time to get the job done.
Okay, so we've got to go out there. I suppose we've got to make sure that we don't nail that pole. Or try not to nail the pole. I'll give it my best. Let's place my soul machinery or something, you know? It's cool.
Turn right.
Let's get our map sorted. We don't have to stop at Fresno. Stockton. We haven't been there, so it looks like we're going through there. It might make more sense to come up through here, huh? We'll go through delightful Oakland. Should we go through Oakland rather than Stockton? I don't know. Let's hang on. Let's get rid of that. So we go through Stockton. Hopefully that will pick up Stockton. Sacramento. There's got to be knuckles in Sacramento, doesn't there? Isn't that the capital of California? Is that the capital of California? Reading. Hornbrook. I'll put that there, but we've got the unlockables up here. Yeah, we have. Man, this is a long one, huh? Eugene, we've done. We can head up and get that one and slow them when we get there, if we remember, by the time we get there, because this is going to be a long trip, huh? This Huron place, do we want to go through there? So it comes off there, so yeah, okay, we'll go through there as well. Okay.
Okay, here we go.
We've got our load. We've got our map set. And we've got our subject, Boris Johnson.
Get ready to turn left. Turn left.
Now, as an outsider, to me, you know, the biggest issue for England at the moment is Brexit. All right? And he was one of the main proponents, from what I understand, of Brexit. So it kind of makes sense. Well, you know, this is what you asked for. You work it out. I'm not saying I'm for or against Brexit. I'm just sort of saying, have somebody in charge of it who wanted it. Because you can't complain then about the situation you're in, can you? And then he sort of got rid of half his cabinet and just filled it full of all Brexit supporters. So they think, well, good, because you're doing it. You know, you're doing it. So the people who wanted it, you guys are running it. Get it done.
Go straight on.
Now, I'm sure Brexit will, you know, produce some issues. But, you know, there's countries in Europe that aren't in the EU, and life still goes on. And we're going to make it? Yeah, we're going to make it. There's no way a truck's stopping for that. Not where I'm from, anyway. So, you know, I'm sort of interested to see if they can come up with some sort of solution. You know, anything can be done. Say it's too hard. It's going to be hard, yeah, but, you know, anything can be done.
Go straight on.
Could you imagine the United States? Do you reckon any state would ever want to leave the Union? You could see it, couldn't you? You could see sort of bring back the old California Republic that lasted for a day or whatever it was. How long was California a republic for? I think it was only like a week or something, a few days, a week, and then it sort of went straight into the Union.
Go straight on.
Something like that, anyway. Don't rely on me for your history essay, but you could sort of see, couldn't you, some of the politics in the US at the moment, a state like California going, you know what, we're going to become the Republic of California. Alright, we're going to go through the night here. Seems to be one of those things, doesn't it?
Get ready to turn right.
People want more cartoonish leaders because they're sort of used to popularity being linked to personality.
Get ready to turn left. Turn left.
This is with the trend around, well, especially the Western world. Theresa May was certainly no Margaret Thatcher, was she? In some ways that's a good thing, in some ways it's a bad thing. Is he the man for the job? Well, I think he's the kind of man for the job, given that there were such proponents of the leave. It's taken this long to get the people who wanted to leave into a position where they're going to run the exit. So they can't sort of keep blaming others and all that type of stuff. I mean, the fact of the matter is, the people had a poll, and the majority of people wanted to leave, Do you reckon one of the regrets of Scotland was that they didn't vote for independence when they had the chance? Who knows? So yeah, do I think Boris Johnson's the man for the job? I think he's the man who should be doing the job. How good a job he'll do, I don't know.
Recomputing.
Here we go. We're fine. Good of them to put this weighbridge on the uphill well. Good on you guys. £96,000. There we go. The hill start here, we're fine. Oh, good. Get to wait at the exit. Bastard. I lost all my momentum there. Another hill start here. Here we go. Dude, come on now. I mean, obviously I don't live in England, so... What was this here for? That's right, it's just because I wanted to go up this road, isn't it? We're fine for fuel. I mean, sure, there's a lot of complexities about untangling all the laws that you sort of had in place and that kind of stuff, but it's doable, isn't it? It's doable. It's one of those things, you know, people want to be in control of their own destiny, don't they? And they still use pounds, don't they? So it's not like you have to undo the currency.
Keep right, and then exit right. Exit right. Turn left. Turn right.
I mean, you can sort of think about who's not in the EU. The first one that comes to mind is Switzerland, isn't it? Because I could see, you know, the European Union makes a decision, you have to abide by it. So you go, well, no one who lives in my country likes that decision. Too bad. You know, we want to make a law that, no, you can't do that. It's a question of sovereignty, isn't it? I guess people, what they had was a vision that Europe would be like the United States, it would be the United Europe. But it's just culturally so different from region to region. You know, they have different... We're going to pick this place up or not? Thank God for that. Really didn't want to have to go in there. You know, people speak different languages. Some of them have different alphabets. You know, you've got different style of architecture, completely different histories, different ethnicities. You know, people don't like people who are a long way away from them telling them what to do they?
Turn right. Turn right.
sure it was worth that detour just to pick up that town, huh? But detour just to pick up that town, but we've done it. So that's how we're rolling. Saturday 2:42 p.m. Sunday 2:25 a.m. to Sunday 6:35 a.m. So we're still more than fine, hopefully. It's sort of 12-15 hours in hand, so we're good.
Get ready to turn left. Turn left.
Okay, detour number 1 out of the way. Mind you, in some respects, isn't it? This whole trip is a bit of a detour. But we've got a good payday at the end of it.
Go straight on.
So yeah, Boris and Brexit. See that it's named Lord Reese Smoog or whatever his name is. It's the ultimate toffee name. He's got himself a promotion. I just think of that guy. Not that I know much about who's who in British politics. I just remember the LEG show. Asking about class. Class is important, isn't it? If you went out with my sister and you had a baby, you know, what class would he be? Just hit my wheel's off centre. Don't be worrying about that now. Concentrate on the road. I suppose the region that has gone for, in the Western world, that has gone for a serious separation from its country is in Spain, isn't it? I mean, the people vote to leave and stage a peaceful protest and send in the police to beat them up. That's a bad look. Start throwing people in jail for trying to exercise the will of the people. That's a bad look as well. So you go, what would you do if such and such wanted to leave Australia? God, if only New South Wales would leave Australia.
Go straight on.
They think they're their own country anyway, mate. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the last time there was a Thanks, SatNav, for no help. Who's the last state in the Western world to sort of separate? I suppose Eastern Europe, there's a few countries when they sort of escaped from the communist bloc, and then some of them had a war together. You know, some of those countries. And when do you get? You say, "Oh, look, I've had enough." Supposedly Greece has given it a bit of a go, hasn't it? It's hard to keep up with what's happening there. Basically, in terms of people sort of say, "What do you want to leave Europe?" And you look at the austerity measures in Greece that are sort of forced on you by
right, and then exit right.
The European sort of central government, justified or not. You
exit right.
So you go, well, we don't want that to happen to us. You know.
Turn left.
They sort of come in and ruin you economically, don't they? And force you to make a whole lot of changes that suits them for whatever reason, but doesn't sort of fit with your way of life at all. This wheel is definitely off centre all of a sudden, I think. To calibrate it. $614 miles. What is our range? Don't know. No idea. Is there a fuel range on here? No, why would there be? I don't think we're going to get 600 miles out of the tank. If we come to an easy fuel stop, we'll take it at some stage. Just with these things on the back, guys, just pulling into a fuel stop's a bit of a hassle, isn't it? A bit of a hassle. Not as in a Hass car. Yeah, I think Rich Energy had done a good job about getting their brand out there. I've never heard of it. Never heard of it. No, I didn't even realise that they were on the car until they withdrew their sponsorship. People pointed it out. I think I like the colours this year, you know, but didn't even realise that.
Turn right.
Rich Energy, like what's Rich Energy? It's another sports drink. Oh, okay. No idea what it was. They dumped their sponsorship in spectacular fashion, or had a storm in a teacup. Then all of a sudden it was like, oh, that's what Rich Energy is. It's a drink. Sort of another fake Red Bull. Is that the new cigarettes? Energy drinks. Some stuff that in 20 years' time will come out and it's killing you. It's rotting your brain. It's messing with your endocrine system or something. Imagine those people who didn't know cigarettes were bad for them. They're having the time of their life, mate. Just smoking it up all the time. Sitting there at work, at dinner, you know. Imagine it. I remember it. When I was a kid, you know, you'd go places and there was just everyone was smoking everywhere. Just reek.
Go straight on.
Even the plane. The plane used to have a smoking and non-smoking. It'd be one of the things that you booked if you booked a ticket. Oh, you want the non-smoking section? You know. How there weren't more fires on planes, I don't know. People used to smoke at their desk at work. Thank God that was over with before I started work, you know. But it was still, you know, in restaurants and things like that, people could smoke. And it was bloody awful. I mean, you would, every time you went somewhere, you would have to, you know, I don't mean like your t-shirt, I mean your coat or whatever. If you took a coat or something like that, it just reeked of cigarettes. People with their cars, I mean, that still happens now. You know, when you go to look at a car and the person's been smoking it, it's just, oh, this thing's ruined, mate.
Keep left. Finding a new route.
Keep left? What happened to keep left? It said keep left, I kept left. And I was supposed to go right, was I? Well, it wants me to go all the way up there now. What if I pull into Sacramento? No, if I do that, it's going to make me still go up here. Bloody hell. That was the sat-nav's fault, that one. It said keep left, I kept left. God, they can't make me go up there, can they?
Let's do this.
Oh my God. This is just like real life when the things just screws you. It's true, isn't it? You sort of just can't 100% rely on it. It's like a Tesla, you know, thing to keep left. What it meant was sort of don't go in the absolute right, but still exit. You know, if I had been paying attention to the signs and knowing where I was going and stuff like that, we sort of go, well, I'll set the GPS and then I don't have to do any of that. And then you still have to do it. I mean, you used to drive this game until, you know, a couple of months ago without this, and it was fine. You start relying on it, and it starts taking you in crazy places. You go, God damn it! Just like real life. That's what makes it a sim. It's going to cost me 2 hours. Look at that. It's cost me 2.5 hours out of my way. That's a turn you didn't want to miss in real life, apparently. Oh, bloody hell. Struggling up the hill here. Bold claim now hanging over Danny Rick's teammate. Hulk expects to stay at Renault. Despite he's being outpaced by Danny Rick. Oof. I hardly think that's too far of a leap. I mean, A, Danny Rick's pretty good. B, they've given him some favouritism in the races and stuff like that. C, he hasn't really been just giving him a complete bath, has he? You know, in qualifying, it's been pretty close. It's a couple of tenths. Or a tenth. I mean, they both can't finish in the same qualifying position in the same spot. Look at the last race, they sort of left him out because they were worried about Danny Rick's race. And he was behind. And they've been giving him the development part sooner. Well, we're getting some speed up now.
Keep right, and then exit right.
Well, I'm going to go and pick this one up since I'm here.
Exit right.
Let's hope it just ticks over at the top here.
Turn left.
Come on. Here we go. Here's the hill start. We got this. Come on, give it to me. Give it to me. You bastard. I'm going to have to go over this thing here, aren't I?
Recomputing.
Oh, it wants me to do a U-turn in here. Can you imagine? It's going to suck, isn't it? Oh, come on. Am I stuck over here or something?
Turn left, and then turn right. Turn right.
Oh. This D2 is going to kill me. Just getting out of this it's going to be virtually impossible, isn't it? Just trying to get out of here. Can't see a thing. Perfect. That articulated trailer might even help us here, you never know. Come on, bro.
Get ready to turn left.
What a nightmare.
Turn left.
Right, back on the road. Keep getting these Renault stories. Renault Megane RS Trophy R sits lap record at Spa. Don't care, mate. I don't care how much driving for him Denny Rick does. A Renault is just not in a car for Australian conditions. It isn't. Not interested. Not in the slightest. Do you want a French hatchback? No, not. I just don't think it's going to live out here, mate. Go up hills, long dirt roads. Cover big distances. The Renault Megane just doesn't spring to mind. I think one of the big stories this time is Mercedes have got a slightly different livery for the German race coming up. Silver arrows. They're going to run the Nazi colours, are they? Is the diecast business big in Formula One? Because it is or was in NASCAR, wasn't it? I remember sort of it was a big business, NASCAR, the diecast models and that. People would collect them, so they deliberately have a few different paint jobs during the year, so you ended up having to put out more memorabilia. If Mercedes does that, will they make some merch money? Oh, we're going downhill now. Jeez. Lifting coast, save some fuel. Be very afraid, everyone. Come like a freight train here. Alright. Now this has got us going off here.
Keep right. Keep right.
Can't afford to get this one wrong. Not after that detour. Look at this entry. Are they that bad? It's taken us about 600 miles to do the last 100 miles. The wow factor, Mercedes' new livery. But they've wrote an article about anything, won't they? The cars of the 2019 Tour de France. Drive Tribe.
Go straight on.
Who cares, mate? That's car news. Oh. What's he got? A high ace? Whatever. I'm sure the logistics of it are very interesting. But I really, you know, don't care. Speaking about not caring, today Autosport put up a response to Jeremy Clarkson's video that he made about Formula One, which was him sitting there just saying some stupid shit. Going through his statement point by point. If you go through Jeremy Clarkson's statement point by point, you've lost the point. It's just, oh, I've got to make a video. Oh, I've got to make a video today. It's video day. I've got to do 5 a week. Oh, Jeremy Clarkson, if we mention his name, we'll get some clicks and everyone will comment on us and tell us how stupid we are. And then sort of gave some analysis of each of his points. It's just like, bloody hell. That's the thing, isn't it? Content. The world needs content. It's a struggle to produce enough of it because you're not bringing in enough money for the content you do produce. You're hiding there or you're bulked there, mate. Someone like Autosport gets together a whole bunch of just, let's call them motoring journalists. They're sort of people that sort of, they were a journalist before they were a motoring journalist, if you know what I mean. I just wanted to go into media. Oh, motoring. It's also dry and dull, and the worst thing is predictable. They don't even sort of look really too deeply into a story. They just sort of go whatever is the general consensus of motoring journalists, you know. It bores me to tears. And I sort of, you know, because I do the daily delivery on Mondays, where it's just F1 for motorsport, I sort of started following all these different things to sort of, well, what are the stories at the moment, you know? And they're just filling in time, aren't they? Not even in a good way. I mean, everything is, everything's just filling in time, isn't it? Say that about anything, TV show, everything people do. You know, a lot of it is just filling in time. But you don't have to make it boring. I wish I had worn both my jumpers today. I'm getting a bit chilly. I've got a cold foot. My feet are cold. I've got my homeless gloves on. How much money are we up to? 160. Let's get us up to 200. We're still sort of 50 away from our next truck as well, you know. What did I have to remember to do? Oh yeah, that's right. Let's check on how our... when we get to the next stop, we've got to check on how our driver's doing. And then pick up that unlockable up near wherever it is we're going. Perez, unfinished business with Sport Pisa Racing Point. What team is that?
Go straight on.
So, it's another nothing article. The story of Gumpert. Look at that. Apex that like a boss. There's their fuel. Their fuel's fine after that crazy fuel stop. Opinion: does motorsport need a World Cup? No. It's one of those things that doesn't work, doesn't it? I mean, they used to have a World Touring Car Championship sort of thing.
Keep right, and then exit right.
But it's still only for touring cars. I mean, I could see you getting a, and there's a World Touring Car, World, World Championship for TCR, isn't there?
Exit.
I could see you maybe getting a TCR thing together where, but they already have a World Championship. So you're going to have one race. Where are you going to have the race?
Turn right.
I mean, TCR is sort of a lower cost category, isn't it? So you're not going to get the money to take a TCR car from some Australia to somewhere, are you? What are the sponsors those guys have got? Oh, I'm going as wide as I can, bro.
Get ready to turn left. Turn left.
Oh, brake! Oh, dude. So yeah. Hamilton hoping for rain. Vettel denies Ferrari are a burden. Why do people pick these things? And why Ferrari? Why not someone else? Well, they ask George Russell, are Williams a burden?
Keep right, and then turn right. Turn right.
I think there's something about the rules, isn't there, where a team like Ferrari, which isn't underfunded, it's got a lot of people, a lot of history, a lot of technical expertise, a big budget, and they haven't been able to produce a championship-winning car for 10 years. They've been able to produce a car that can come third. That means there's something wrong with the formula, not Ferrari, I think.
Get ready to turn left.
You can't expect to have parity in a non-parity formula.
Turn left.
To me, it's disheartening. If I was another manufacturer, a smaller manufacturer, I say, well, Ferrari can't do it with that budget. How are we going to do it?
Get ready to turn left.
Even if you're a big manufacturer, you sort of go, well, look, Renault can't do it with their budget and their expertise and their time. You know, how are we going to do it? Sort of puts people off, doesn't it?
Keep right, and then exit right. Exit right.
We've made up some of our time again through speeding, basically. Red Bull almost had Vettel and Alonso. Oh yeah, whatever. I mean, if you were a going back to Brexit, if you were a country in Europe, would you join the EU? Basically, the only reason I come up with a yes is if it's going to lift my average. So to me, go, oh, look, if my standard of living and the standard of everything's pretty low, if I join the EU, it probably lift my average. The question is though, can you meet the requirements? The standards for different things. If I was above average country, the answer would be no. You know, if I was a wealthy country, it's going to go, everyone else is just going to bring my average down, you know. I think this is a shame about England and Australia, that is that, you know, we drive on the other side of the road. You kind of wish that they had done what, I think it was Sweden. Sweden used to drive on the left-hand side. They changed it, I think, in the 60s. And interesting enough, they were ready for chaos that day, and they had like the best day on the roads ever because everyone was really paying attention to what they were doing. It just goes to show you, mate, if everyone paid attention. It's like driving this game when you're not paying attention because you're talking about Brexit or something and looking at your iPad, you roll the truck. You know, there's no mystery there, is there? I mean, as time has gone on and you build more and more infrastructure and all that type of stuff, it's harder and harder and harder. It's always harder and harder and harder to undo something. Like if England had stayed in the EU another 10 years, it would have been harder to undo.
Right. Exit right. Turn left.
It'd be great if we just picked this town up now. You can't have everything, can you? This is going to be another nightmare U-turn. Yeah, just do a U-turn here. No worries, mate. Oh, this is going to be easy. Sweet.
Get ready to turn left.
Hey mate, I love your fuel station that you've got plenty of room. That's how they all
Turn
should
left,
be.
and then turn right. Turn right. Get ready to turn left.
Well, we picked that bad boy up. That wasn't too bad
Turn left.
in terms of how these things can go. It's just like real life, isn't it? Just having a bit of extra space at the servo, the gas station, depending on whatever you call it. Sorry mate, but you know, help a brother out. Makes it so much more pleasant. It's a new servo that's out of my way, but I'd go there because like the pumps work, you know, the pumps are new, the layout of the entry and egress and entry, the entry and the exit makes sense, you know, it all works, so I prefer to go there, even though that's a bit further out of my way. I'm not going to have to queue up at the Bowser, which is what we call a pump, forever and ever. There's still people who manage to stuff it up. I mean, it's laid out like a champ, and there's still people who, you know, there's only sort of one way that everyone goes in. There's still people who somehow manage to line their car up the wrong way. And I saw one the other day. The lady came in.
Okay, let's find a new route.
She
Turn right. Finding a new route.
Don't worry, lady, we got this. Oh, let's get stuck behind this guy. So she comes in, and she goes around, so she comes into the pump the wrong way. Because like I said, it's designed where everyone's just going the one way in, one way out. She goes around the wrong way, so she comes up to the pump, and then the fuel cap was on the wrong side of the car. So she's had to try and get the fuel thing all the way around the car because she'd gone in the wrong way. We talk about making your bloody life unnecessarily difficult, huh? I mean, I had a good laugh, sure. And I thank her for that. But it was just so ridiculous. She even got out and the thing wouldn't reach, and she had to go and move closer to the thing. They go, why don't you just pull in the right way? Like, like I said, I had a good laugh, but so I think, what are you doing? The loan instalment, 5,700. Wonder how our loan's going now, what we're down to. $250 miles. It's a long trip, this one, isn't it? I mean, things are so much easier when you're not worried about unlocking stuff and doing these detours. You know, when it's just a straight shot everywhere. We should have is the My Summer Car song going, I think. There is a version of this that's like an hour long. Totally gonna have to get that. We're pouring on the speed now, huh? Don't get too tight a turn at some stage. You said not letting off into that turn. It's nice to not have to make this exit because we've been there before. Could you imagine seeing this thing going past you at 86 miles an hour? This kid's a maniac! Oh, what's that? 60 turn. Throwing some brake there, there we go. What's going on here? Oh, he's just waiting to come on. Good luck to you, sir. It's 55 miles an hour. Oh, we'll use some brake. Been caught out before, huh? Just going to offend, you know, about 30 million people here, but California, overrated? I think so. I mean, when you go there, it's a bloody dust bowl, most of it, isn't it? I mean, I've got to... In my opinion, one of the most overrated places I've ever been is San Francisco. I was so disappointed going to San Francisco. Because, you know, it's one of those places you sort of seen it in the movies, in the old Bullet and Dirty Harry and all that type of stuff. The Bay City, you know, whatever it is. Sort of a cool place. You get there and you sort of go, oh. Some parts of this place are like a third world, mate. It's sort of got its, you know, it's standing in the gutter looking at the stars, isn't it? You can bypass the way station, good. This guy's got some steel. The nicest place I've been to in California, I'd say, would be Coronado, just off San Diego. You know, that's a little slice of paradise. I'm sure that. I mean, LA, it's area by area, isn't it? Yeah, as a whole, we look at this sort of thing. In terms of the atmosphere and the quality of facilities and all that type of stuff, LA is sort of. Well, California as a whole, it's sort of. It might be one of those things that might be fantastic if you're loaded. But there's some places that if you're loaded, you can do whatever you want. It's the best, you know. But for average people, California doesn't look that inviting. I think the worst thing in there's two things that shocked me about San Francisco. One of them was just how touristy the tourist parts were. Like, not even, you know, you sort of think waterfront San Francisco, it's got to be good. Man, it was so cheap touristy. It was sort of, meh. I hate some place that I can't walk around at night. You know, you just want to get a little bit off the beaten track. This is pretty much anywhere in the States, isn't it? San Francisco, you know, it's just sort of... No, it's too sketchy. It's not New Orleans, but it's too sketchy.
Keep left.
Oh no, it's another keep left. Better double check here. Yeah, okay, it means keep left, keep left. Touristy, sort of, everything's sort of a bit low quality. Everything's kind of old. There's a lot of things in the States. You go there and you sort of think, man, it's a bit 1980, isn't it? And then the homeless problem is just ridiculous. We were walking and we went up one area. Man, I did not know what country I was in. It was bloody terrible. They want to hassle you and whatever. You go to some place, like everyone sort of learned to live with it.
And then exit right.
Just waiting for at the front of some museum or something for it to open.
Exit.
And then all of a sudden there's some guy just losing his shit completely, like going off, like.
Get ready to turn left.
And there's way too many of them around, you know. So they go, oh. And everyone's just sort of, oh.
Turn left.
Turn left, okay. May have pulled a bit too far forward here. But yeah, it's one of those places like even though it's disappointing, I'm glad that I went because
Keep left and then turn
of
left.
two things. If you don't go there, you never go. You sort of always go, oh, I wish I had made it to San Francisco. Go there and go, nah, this place sucks. And the other thing was, everyone who tells me how good it was, who's visited it, like say after, I don't know, the year 2000, I know they're talking shit. The fact that people are sort of uppity because they're from San Francisco or live in San Francisco just makes me laugh. The city sucks. I mean, okay. Let's be fair, you know, I've only been there once for a few days. Just that was enough. Is this a vineyard or something? Doesn't look like a vineyard, does it? Fruit trees, maybe. Oh, I think there is a wine thing in here, though, isn't there? So. Let's say they're vines. It's amazing what good marketing these places still have. It's a bit like Las Vegas. I like Las Vegas. And the more places I go to the US, the more I think... skip it, can't be bothered, mate. The more I think of Las Vegas, it's way better in a lot more of the popular touristy places. Right. Do I want a 5% bonus there? Do I want a job to go up to 1,600 miles? $1,600 is a long way. I'll just go for a cargo bonus there. There we go. Ah, we were going to do our driver, check our driver, see how she's going. Still hasn't got a high value cargo thing ticked off. Oh well. We had to go and get an unlockable. Where am I? Okay. Yeah. So we'll go there, and then we'll go there. Then we'll hook up a job.
Ready to roll.
And then we'll leave it there. But yeah, Las Vegas, whenever you sit on a TV show or something like that does such a good job of controlling what you see of it. In LA and a lot of these places are the same. I don't know if they get tourist board money or what. They make it sort of look inviting, don't they?
Turn right.
I've been watching that Netflix show, Dope. I kind of like that it shows the streets in some of these places. And so this place is just terrible. Absolutely terrible. When you go to these American cities, you know, as you go through different areas, you come into these areas and that's what they're like. They're terrible. Does Australia have areas like that? Not to that extent. It has some areas that you sort of no, you don't want to go there. And they're a bit rubbish, but they're not to the extent of You know, some of them are pretty bad, but they're not to the extent of many of these places. Where the hell am I going? Oh, you just pull through here, dude. Nice. We need to let everyone drive in, or is it just me because I got the truck? Yeah, bro.
Go straight on.
Look at this area, it's cool, isn't it?
Get ready to turn left. Turn left.
Turn left or go into oblivion? Which would you like? We'll go left. Thanks everyone. Where were we going? I think fuel station, wasn't it?
Go straight on. Rerouting. Turn left, and then turn left.
Yep, will do. Fuel, huh? Fuel makes the world go round.
Turn left. Keep right, and then turn right. Turn right.
Pick up this unlockable, get ourselves a job. Excuse me, sir,
Keep right.
but I've got maneuverability on my side. We're back to 200,000. No, actually, we're going to get off.
And then exit right. Exit right. Keep left, and then turn left. Turn left.
No, these guys won't fall. Yes, sir. See all these green trucks now. Not quite as bright as mine though, are they? What you doing, bro? Ah!
Keep left, and then turn left. Turn left.
Can't even remember what's it. It's Slalom, was it? Is that where we are? Nobody knows. Who cares?
It was a nice ride.
I'm just going to pull over to the side here while we use the map. Yes, slow on. Okay. Not that. Job market. Let's hook up a job. You know where it'd be nice to go? Ontario. Here we go, Ontario. Oh, $15 a mile. Wanted to go to Ontario, but I don't know about $15 a mile, mate. That's a bit much. $54 a mile. Or should we just go to Ontario and finish unlocking Oregon, basically? I've been to jackpot. $15 a mile. You know what, I'm going to take that one just so I can unlock Ontario and go there. Sort of get that sense of accomplishment.
Get ready to turn left.
Sense of accomplishment from unlocking each city in Oregon. The more we unlock, the less detours you have to do. Oh, we can make it.
Turn right.
We can make it.
Go straight on. Keep right.
But yeah, so many of these places do such a good job.
Get ready.
Somehow, with TV shows, never showing the... I'm talking about even... I'm not talking about just documentaries, I'm talking about normal TV shows, you know? they make the city they seem in some glamorous. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of NCIS, but say NCIS New Orleans. New Orleans is not that great of a place, it really isn't. If you're considering going there, I say change it, mate. If you're tossing up between there and Vegas, it's 100% Vegas. Forget it. Forget about it.
Go straight up. Get ready to turn right.
Oh, brake. God. Man. Inches, huh? Inches. This must be us up here, huh?
Turn right. You have arrived at your destination. Your route guidance is
Oh,
now
did I miss the thing, did I? That's fine. Enter, here we go. Yeah, I want this one where I'm getting bloody nothing for it. Yeah, taking that job. Come on, let's do it. Won't even pay the bill for the day. Won't even pay the bill for the day, but actually it's at the back of the truck. Oh, you... Unbelievable. It is too. The white square was sort of overhanging the other direction. Anyway, whatever's. Oh, look at this thing. What's that doing? Is that how they move those things? Who knew, huh? I look like I'm doing a job for Nubco here. Right, so if we go round bend, Burns, and out to Ontario. We'll go past there on the way. And that'll mean we're unlocked here. Nice. Okay.
Time to hit the brake.
Alright, so I think we'll leave it there then. So we will. So there we go. Another Las Vegas Express in the can. So we'll end the stream.